favorite yoga teaching of mine is about icha, jnana, and kriya shakti. Shakti is energy. There's an energy with desire, an energy with gaining knowledge in a subject area, and and I think the toughest one of all is the energy of action, which we must apply. So once you get that desire in yoga, you learn about it, you go to a class, you look on YouTube, and finally you practice it over and over again. Icha, jnana, kriya. The best iconic figure for this to me is Michael Jordan, a basketball player who, in the pinnacle of his career, decided that he was going to be a baseball player. And so he applied and got on a minor league team, learned about baseball and practiced, and finally spent an entire season in baseball. And he discovered that that was not his true dharmic path, perhaps, but he went back to basketball. But I love the fact that he was able to make that leap. Release your hands. And if you're on a block, you can come off the block and just stay seated here. And today, one of the things I thought really helps us out when you're seated here, have your feet in front of you. When you work in yoga, of course, we work all angles of the spine. But one of the first things we do is open the hips, and especially in the case of getting a desire, getting the knowledge of that specific thing and be in action. The first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is kind of that base, that home plate, if you will. So bend your right knee and just draw it in towards you. And now take your right ankle to the outer knee and just place your hands right at the pant leg crease as a way to just encourage your thigh to move away. So you just get this nice opening. Now, if this feels like it's way too much for your hip, just take your left leg straight and just work the thigh down. One of my teachers said knees are kind of like 5-year-olds. You know, they can get really fussy. And so it's kind of a rare class that I do a pigeon pose because of fussy knees, you know, putting weight on the knee. So this class we'll be doing actions to open the hips a lot, but we want to take care of those fussy knees. And now release your right foot down. And let's do the opposite. So again, you can straighten the right leg or bend it and place your ankle to just to the outside of your knee. Place both hands to the top of your thigh and just coax your thigh to move away from your ribs. So you just really trying to just say good morning to the hip, to open it up really nicely. So as you keep on pressing thigh away from the ribs, just keep this nice opening there. And now release that and come to all fours position. In all fours position, just move the spine here. So with the palms pressing down with the hands wide apart, inhale, lift your chin. Exhale and just bow in, draw the chin toward the chest and get the back body so full and bright. The in-breath as you just kind of open the chest and reach the chest forward. Exhale breath as you get this opening to the back side of the body as you lift from the navel back to the spine. And one more. Inhale breath. Exhale breath. Now come to the middle of that movement, no extremes here. Just come right to the middle and reach your right leg straight back and tuck your right toes under. So plant the foot really nicely. Plant your foot so firmly, and let's just check in with your arm strength here. So as you press in firmly through the straight right leg, lift your left knee up. Maybe you can even draw it toward your heart. And now rest the left knee down. Take your right knee down as well. Extend your left leg straight back. Tuck your toes under. Same thing. So you've got now the form of the pose. See if you can really draw that strength into it by pressing down to lift yourself up. Draw the right knee in toward the heart and rest the right knee down. Rest the left knee down. Step your hands a giant step forward. Either come toward a puppy dog pose, reaching your pelvis back, or all the way to downward facing dog. Or child's pose. Just find out for you like a nice way to start your practice. To start your practice with this feeling that you've got these three aspects, these three energies that we were speaking of, this desire, this willfulness to start a 1 hour class. You certainly have the knowledge through all the experience you've gained in yoga classes. And now you're just carrying it out, kriya shakti, you're in action. So whichever pose you decided on, make your way to the front of the mat. And as you stand at the front of the mat, with knees bent, place your hands just to above your knees. Straighten your arms and inhale, look forward and lift your chin, just like we did on all fours. Exhale, just draw from the navel back to the spine. And 2 more. Inhale through the nose, heart forward, lift your chin. Exhale through the nose. And same thing, get your back body so full. And 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Place your hands to your low back. Hug your elbows in and lift yourself up. Take your arms up to the sky. Take your hands wide apart. Reach back. And exhale, come down to a forward bend. Place your hands right alongside your ankles and step your right leg back. Place your hands above your left knee. Press down to rise up. Now free your arms. Spread your fingers to tone the muscles of the arms as you lift your arms up. Keep your hands nice and wide apart. Open your chest nicely. And slowly exhale. Take your hands down to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Place both hands to your low back. Hug your elbows in and rise up. Close your eyes for a moment. Just kind of notice the difference. Once you are in action, you start to feel the energy of that action. It's called the shakti. You start to feel how the breath is helping you to just gain greater insight, greater awareness. And now with your eyes bright, inhale, sweep your arms up and reach them back. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Place your hands by your ankles. Take your left leg back. Place your hands above your right knee and straighten your arms to lift yourself up. Stay there or see if you can free your arms and take them up. Take the hands wide apart and reach back. Take your gaze up, stay balanced. See if you can just soften a little bit more to keep the right thigh parallel to the mat. And release your hands down. Step the back foot forward. Place both hands to your low back. Hug your elbows in. Rise up. Release your hands. Pause again. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Invite a nice full in-breath and out-breath. Icha, jnana, and kriya, shakti. Icha, this willfulness. Jnana, the knowledge, the power that knowledge gives you, this great energy of just knowing about the practice. And kriya shakti, just being in action in the practice. With your eyes bright, be in action as you take your arms up and reach them back. Exhale, just honor all this knowledge that you've been given by so many teachers. Step back to downward facing dog. Look at your hands and see that you can plant your hands so fully with your fingers spreading, with the fingertip tops pressing down. Good. Lift your sit bones high. Now lift your right leg high. See, as you lift your right leg high, if you can keep a nice engagement to the leg, nice spread to the toes, nice energetic action, pulling in through the right heel all the way to the heart. Release your right foot down. Take your left leg in the air. Look back at your toes. Spread your toes more. Same thing, draw in from all those toes to the heart, and then expand out from the heart all the way to the toes. Release your foot down. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Bend your knees. Place your hands above your knees and lift yourself up. Reach up again. Let's do one salute here. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, come down. Inhale, extend and look forward, so lift up on the in-breath. Exhale, place your hands down, step back, take the right foot back. Take your hands above your knee, balance and lift up. Reach your arms up to a high lunge. Reach your gaze up. Reach your hands back. Exhale, take your hands down, come to all fours position or plank. Lower slowly as you can to the mat. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Invite a long and full and even in-breath through the nose. Out-breath through the nose. In-breath as you brighten the back body. Out-breath has a softening effect. One more. Breathe in fully. Breathe out long. Look forward and walk yourself to the front of the mat with your hands to your low back, with knees bent. Hug your elbows in to rise up. Other side, now reach up. Reach way back. Exhale, come to the earth or your blocks. Inhale, get long and tall, lift up. Exhale, place your hands by your ankles and step your left leg back. Place your hands to the top of the right knee. Rise up fully. Reach your gaze up. Exhale, release your hands down. Step either to all fours or plank position. Pause there. Just gain this nice strength. Come slightly forward and then all the way down. Inhale, take your heart forward. Exhale, soften down. Let's do that 2 more times here. Inhale, baby cobra, where the elbows stay bent, the shoulder blades hug in toward each other, your heart reaches forward. Exhale, soften. And 1 more. Inhale, you rise up. And exhale, soften. Now stay on your belly just for a moment. Interlace your fingers. And as you interlace your fingers, press your forearms down. So you can tuck your toes under and lift your knees up. So just work on that core strength. Let's try to work on a little flexibility. So walk your feet in toward your interlaced fingers. Keep your forearms pressing down. Maybe you can walk your feet in just a little bit closer. Lift your right leg in the air. Release your right foot down. Lift your left leg in the air. Release your left foot down. Step your way back to come to a plank position where we started. Take your gaze slightly forward. Now lower your knees down, the tops of the thighs down, and place your hands alongside your ribs. On the in-breath, just reach your heart forward as the elbows hug in. Exhale, you soften. Again, 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Come to all fours position. And either downward dog, child's pose, puppy dog pose, whichever you prefer, just discover and rediscover the length here to the side body. Just pause. Just continue to invite the in-breath and the out-breath to flow really nicely. And try to stay in that felt sense of that inner stillness as you come up to step your way out of the pose, either all fours position, make your way all the way up to standing. And for this pose, I love using blocks. So if you have blocks, you can use them. If you don't have blocks, no worries, because it'd be even more of a challenge for you to be perfect. Stand very firmly on your right leg. And as you get balance and stability on the right leg, just slowly bend your knees slightly so that you can create a little ledge for the left ankle to rest itself on top of the right knee. So your knees are bent, your pelvis starts to float back a little bit, and place your hands down to your blocks. So as you place your hands to your blocks, or if the blocks aren't available, no problem. You can still get this nice hip opening. Maybe you can even take your hands all the way to the earth. Just find out what's working. So as you just allow that knee to bend, the thigh to draw back more, just let the breath be nice and full. Drop the pelvis a little bit closer to the earth. And maybe you can even balance here. Maybe you can even lift your arms up. You just stay rooted now that you have the knowledge of the form of the pose. You start to be in action. You start just playing with that energy and being in action, doing the pose. And now slowly, make your way out of the pose and release your foot down. And just pause for a moment, close your eyes, and just with the eyes closed, it has a nice way of just bringing a little bit more awareness to the pose, awareness to your actions. And now with your eyes bright and with most of your weight to your left leg, just bend both knees again. Place your ankle to the outer knee area. And it's just like what we were doing when we were seated. We're just kind of trying to open this hip nicely. Getting to know this hip area, this nice openness that you can create in your hip. So you can bend your standing leg a little bit more, come down, and your choice. You can take your hands to the blocks, the floor, low blocks, whichever you wish. And just soften here. Pause here. Drop a little bit deeper by taking your left thigh a little bit more parallel to the earth. Take your heart a little bit closer to the bent leg. Give a nice in breath and out breath. And now lift your hands up off the blocks. Balance yourself. Whew. And release your hands and come out of the pose. Very nice. Now, if you stepped off the mat, step back onto the mat. And once you're on the mat, let's take a nice wide stance. Place your hands right at your hip points. Turn your right toes out and bend your right knee. So as you bend your right knee, just get strength in this back leg and exhibit strength in your arms as you reach your arms up. Just soften down a little bit more fully here in your pose. Take your gaze out over your extended right hand. And breathe freely and naturally. Just drop yourself a little bit lower. Now that we've done a few hip openers here to just allow you to draw into a deeper position. Just exhibit that kriya shakti, that energy of the action. And inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your hands and draw to the opposite side with your left toes turning out. Bend your left knee. Sweep your arms up. Virabhadrasana 2 again on the left side. Have a nice ease in your breath. A nice softness in your face. But yet this firmness, this steadfast quality of the back leg, this allows you to go deeper in the front leg. And slowly straighten the leg. Release your hand and come to the opposite side again. Turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. And it's your choice here. In parsvakonasana, the side angle stretch, either take your hand, the forearm down to the top of the thigh, take your hand to a block to the inside or outside of the ankle. So many choices you can make here. Or you can just do it without the block, just come a little bit deeper. So, and each side's probably going to be different. Find out what works best for you. Extend yourself. You've got that knowledge of the pose. Now be in full action in the pose. So full action would have your back leg be so strong that all the way from your back foot to your fingertips, you feel like this nice axis of energy, just reaching from the back heel to the fingertips. Drop your front thigh even more. Root down through the back leg and lift yourself all the way up. Come to the opposite side here. And again, blocks are optional. You can come to any variation you wish, but keep the back leg steady and strong. Just soften down as you take your elbow down to the top of the thigh. Just curl your heart up to the sky. And again, your choice. If you'd like to use a block to just assist in the alignment, please do. Reach up and over. Soften, once you've got the strength of the back leg, soften the front leg. And root down to lift yourself all the way out of the pose. Exhale, release your hands. Step your way to utkatasana with your feet hip distance apart. Just close your eyes for a moment. Check in with the breath. The hip openers that we've done should make you feel like you just got just a little bit more openness there in the pelvic area. So let's use that felt sense of openness here as you open your eyes. And let's come to a seated pose. Just hug your left thigh in. Take your left ankle to the outside of the knee. And same thing, just kind of notice now as you draw the right knee in, take the left thigh just a little further away from you. Or if you've got that in the opposite position, whichever position you have the bent leg move away while the right leg stays so solid. Maybe you can even interlace your fingers behind your thigh and use your elbow to just encourage your left thigh to open up even more. So you have this nice elevation, nice elongation of the spine, nice openness to the heart, nice engagement of the bent leg as well as the rooted leg. Very nice. And now straighten the bottom leg now that this hip is nice and open. So now that you've worked on this openness of the hip, and remember that 5-year-old mentality of the knees, they can be really fussy, so you may want to support them with a block. Place your strap around your extended right leg. And as you press into the base of the toes, just widen the strap, widen your elbows, lift your elbows. And if you're used to rounding your spine here, see if you can get even more elongation. by instead of rounding, keep the shoulders back, keep the spine nice and elongated. Reach your heart toward your toes. Just bow forward slightly. And now inhale, rise up. Yeah, if you're using the strap, just to set it aside. And now let's bend the opposite leg. So you just kind of hug it in first and draw the ankle to the outside of the knee. Park your foot down. So we're in the same pose we started with. And as you just coax that thigh to move further away from the ribs, maybe you can even inch your foot, your straight leg, or your foot on the floor just a little bit closer to your pelvis. Maybe even taking the hands behind the thigh like we did on the last side and using your elbow to reach your bent leg thigh back a little bit more. Just be with it. You'll start to feel that jnana shakti, in that knowledge of different parts of your pelvis is going to really kick in. You'll get to know areas a little bit better. And from here, just straighten your leg. And same thing, just draw the knee nice and wide. And again, support it just to protect it if you wish, or place your strap around your straight leg, or just take your hands on your straight leg. And the same thing, just get lots of length and exhale, reach your heart forward toward your toes. 2 more, just inhale and rise up. Exhale, reach. Inhale, and that action that I said to rise up, actually I'm just kind of mimicking what my breath is doing anyway. It feels like I'm lifting out of the pose with the in-breath, and the out-breath just takes me a little bit deeper here into this forward fold. And now inhale, lift yourself up. Good. And take your legs nice and wide apart. Just create the bent leg side. And as you sit in this nice wide stance here, just get really tall. Good. You can take your hands to your shin bones. And I always feel like I open my inner thighs nicely if I lift my knees up. So it's totally up to you. If you feel like you can get just a little bit more natural lumbar curve there with the knees bent, do so and come down. But if that's not your thing, just straighten your legs and come down. Whichever way. As you draw your heart forward, not your nose to the earth, lift your chin in this variation. Just draw forward as you just get nice length on the bottom side of the legs. Just soften. And inhale, rise up. So we were working in the hip area, with a straight leg variation, you have to do quite a bit of hamstring work for most of us. And so now let's lie down on your back and bend your knees. And let's do the same pose we've been doing for the whole class. With your knees bent, take your right ankle to the outside of the left leg. Just coax the right thigh back and hug your left leg in, interlace your fingers, and just get this nice opening here. And as you do, as you draw the thigh in, reach your right leg back more. And there are all sorts of variations on this one too, maybe the straight leg variation. But just find out for you. I also really like using the strap here because it just protects the lumbar curve so nicely as you hold onto the strap. So you can just really isolate your actions. If you're holding onto the leg, let go either with the strap or with the hands. And just draw your leg over to the side to come to a twist and plant your foot down. Take your arms in a nice T position with the palms facing up. And draw from your heart all the way to the knee. Just a light in your breath. And on the in-breath, just lift your knees up. Plant both of your feet. And lift yourself up to a bridge pose. And I like the variation where the elbows press in, the heart lifts up. But if you have other variations that you prefer, go there. Just allow this nice opening in the front side of the body to get a lot of length all the way from the pelvis to your knees. Now park your pelvis down again. And same thing, we've been working on all class. Take your opposite ankle to the outside of the knee and lift the leg up to just work the thigh, the bent leg thigh back more. And again, using the strap makes a lot of sense for many of us. Just have a nice in breath and out breath through the nose. If you want to play around like we did on the opposite side and just extend one leg nice and straight and just work on some variations that bring you to that place of jnana, that jnana shakti, this getting to know the hip area just a little bit better by creating more variations for yourself. And now you can just slowly come to the twist with your arms extended out. Plant your bent leg foot just very firmly down. But the same action that we were doing in the pose, try to bring the knee just away from the heart. And now inhale, slowly come back to the center position with your feet both firmly planted. Come once again to Sucirandhrasana. Your variation was fine. But this, as you press your feet down, lift your pelvis high. Just get a nice fullness to the chest. Take 3 more full breaths here in this pose. You can slowly lower your pelvis down. And just bring your knees just a little bit closer. Take your hands on the knees and just kind of roll the knees out around in a clockwise direction. It's like the sacral area is like a platter, and you're trying to get the whole circumference of the platter to press down as you roll your knees around in this clockwise direction. Do the opposite now, counterclockwise. Just get the edges of that platter pressing down. And as you're ready, you can slowly make your way to Shavasana, or resting pose. So straighten your legs and straighten your arms.
time, bend your knees. Plant your feet securely, hip distance apart. And as you energize your legs, press into the earth as you reach your arms up over your head. Invite the breath to expand through the side ribs even more. Draw over to the side. Just lie in fetal pose. And again, in your own time, as you press the earth with the hands to lift yourself up, come to a seated pose. Let's honor our practice together today. Place your hands in front of your heart. To all the teachings that yoga offers, we bow. Namaste.